All right, ready to start cutting. Got my material list right here written down. So we'll be cutting 3 pieces, and then what we're going to do is set up our miter on the hide mech here to cut our angle on it. So this piece right here, we're going to be able to get 3 pieces out of it. You're going to have about a 6-inch piece left right there at the end. So 3 out of that, and then we've got 1 more piece down there. This one's a little more rusty. It's been sitting outside for a while, but it's the same thing, 3/16 wall. So we'll just have 1 piece cut out of that, and I'll wire brush it real good. So one of the beautiful things about this hide mech is being able to easily rotate this thing and cut an angle without a bunch of fuss. All right, so all we're going to do is simply pull that pin out. That one locks it there at 0 degrees. And then this is going to be your clamp right here. So we're going to loosen that up. And it's as simple as spinning it, just like that. It's almost effortless. We're going to spin this guy around. I'm looking down here at the graduations. And I need to go get a flashlight. It's a little bit dark right here at the lines. And we're going to simply just lock that in. And it's there, not going anywhere. I've been getting the frame all put together here on the big workbench and just getting everything laid out, make sure it's going to fit together the way it should. All the dimensions are working out the way that I had planned, and it looks pretty good. So I'm going to give you a little shot of everything. This is pretty much how it's going to look right here. I don't have anything welded yet, but this is just fitting, getting all fitted together. I'm using my Fireball Tools welding squares there. These are the mini versions, by the way. Monster square, mega square, monster square, mega square, and then that's the, this is the aluminum version right there. So just putting them all to work. And the centerpiece right here, I had it planned so that I wanted a nice little bit of area to put a nice heavy weld on right there. These tubes sticking out, I've got these out 8 inches right there, and then we actually just got our weld-on D-rings in just not long ago. So I got those out so you could see what those are going to look like. Here's the other ones. Bought these from McMaster Car. They are rated at 2,000 pounds each, and I'm sure that's if it's properly welded on there. But it's just like this. These are just a forged piece. You stick right around the D-ring, get it where you want it, clamp it down, and weld it on both sides. So we're going to have them here, and of course I'm going to have them over here on this side as well. It's looking good. Everything's coming together. I think I'm ready to actually start tacking the framework together. What I was doing, I wanted to put this up here. I'm going to go in there. See, I've got it marked. I want to make sure all the mill scale and any rust is dressed off there so that we got some good clean metal there for our welding. I think this is going to work out nice. So the ramp is going to sit on these 2 supports right here. What I plan on doing is probably drilling and tapping the bottom side and probably machine some kind of pin, or maybe even take a bolt and have maybe a bolt that screws in on the bottom side, and then have the upper part of the pin stick through just a little bit. It doesn't have to be very much. And then the ramp will lay there. I'm gonna have a couple holes drilled in the ramp so that I just sit it right there. And then I've got these pins here. These are just some linch pins. Also got these from McMaster. These are the stainless steel pins. So once the ramp sets down over the pins, you'll be able to just stick these linch pins through that pin and secure the ramp down. That's what my idea was there. There's all kind of ways you can do that. I think that's just one of the easiest and simplest ways to secure it right there to the rack. I just got through machining these two simple pins right here. Two carbon steel pins, 3/8 in diameter. Drilled a 3/16 hole through there for these linch pins. And the way that these are going to work, just like this, once they're installed, these are going to secure the ramp. So I've got one for each one of those tubes, well, two of the tubes anyway. I'm going to drill a 3/8 hole through these tubes there, and then I'm just going to simply weld the bottom side. I'm going to have this sticking up just a little bit, the bottom of the tube, and weld this on, and just as simple as that. And then I'll have the holes drilled in the ramp here so that when I want to go install it, I'll just set it down on both of those pins. It'll have a little bit of a clearance there so that it'll easily line up. You can see I machined a taper on the end of that so to help kind of line the hole up. Simply stick the linch pin in there and it's ready to go. So I think that that's suitable and that's going to work pretty good for securing the ramp down. So I wanted to figure this out before I start welding everything out. So now I got to take this end back apart, get the holes drilled in those, and I'll probably just weld these on later after we get the whole frame welded in. Got our two pin locations that we're going to go and drill. Here are the pins that we made right there. Get it lined up. There we go. That's a nice fit. Should look about like that whenever it's welded in place. It'll be welded on the bottom and just sticking out just like that right there. I'm ready to start getting this thing tacked together now. I feel like it's ready to go. We've got all of our fireball tool squares clamped up. Got everything at 90 degrees. It should be perfectly square. It's pulled down to the table, so I just want to get it tacked real well. We'll probably get a little bit of the weld done on the corners, flip it over, and then start welding the other side once we pull it down flat again. So I've got the machine set where I feel like it's doing really well for 3/16 gauge steel, and I'm ready to go. So here we go. Pretty stout. It's going to be a heavy frame. Everything's in the way. I'm trying to get everything into a flat position the best I can. Got to get the best weld that I can on all these joints here. So now I'm going to stand it up, just clamp it down, and go ahead and get these other corners, finish it out. I haven't run the squirt gun in quite a while. Seems like this welding in pretty good. I've got the perimeter set good on it. So these two outer corner joints, I went ahead and dressed those off with the grinder because I did a quick vertical weld on that. I want to go ahead and put another weld on there and make sure I get good penetration there. Of course, in the flat position here too. That's better. I'm ready to go ahead and get the rail on here and get it, we're going to get it tacked on there anyway. So I want to clamp it down flat. I'm going to use the Fireball magnetic blocks here. You see I'm sitting on weld, so we're not, we're not flat. So I'm just going to use these thin shims, just like that. Put another one over here somewhere. Just like that. Another one like that. That should work right there. Now we'll set the rail and then I'll be able to clamp it down and it should all be pretty well even. All right, I got to do some measuring on this one, make sure I get everything squared back up. Looks pretty good. All right, we got our rail on there. Everything seems to be lined up nice and straight. And I think really all I need to do is just put a 2-inch weld on either side of the rail in 3 places. I think that's more than adequate to hold that rail onto the frame right there. So that's what we're going to do. Because I had thought about maybe I should come down here and weld it, but I really don't think it needs that much. What do you think? I think it's looking pretty good myself. This is our very first test fit with the whole thing welded together, minus the D-rings. We're not through with that yet. But I think it's looking pretty good. My vision of what I saw right here, it's exactly what I was thinking it was gonna be. Now, I will point out a couple things that we're noticing so far. We got Abby, she's helping me. This is gonna be a job that's much easier when she's with me, and we'll be together all the time when we're traveling. It's gonna be a two-man job to easily put it in there. Now, I can put it in there myself, but it's a little bit more challenging because this is kind of heavy. But getting it lined up. And the other thing is getting back there to get the pin in. That's probably gonna be the trickiest thing. What I might do is once we get all this done and I get the pin in there that I wanna use, I might weld just like a little piece of key stock or something on the top as like a stop, so that when we slide it in there, it'll stop and that hole will line up every time instead of having to, you know, try to wiggle this thing around to get that pin to go in there. All right, so as it sits right here without any kind of the anti-rattle clamp on there, this is where we're at right here, okay? This is what it'll do, and then side to side and up and down. You can use it just like this. I know you'll be able to use it just like that, but of course we want to try to stiffen it up as much as we can. So this is where I'm thinking that I'm definitely going to be trying to incorporate some kind of anchor system that's going to go from the tube here somewhere up to this tie down hook right here, tow hook I mean, for the truck. And once we do that, we're going to be supported by 3 positions on this thing. So now I want to go ahead and roll the monkey up on there and see what it looks like the first time with it all welded together. Let's go ahead and roll it up on there. So here's our ramp with our angle welded onto the end. This should make things super easy, just like that right there. All you gotta do is just kind of pull it straight, get it straight in line. Now I don't have my kickstand support. That's the other thing that I told you I'm definitely gonna see about doing is welding some kind of little outrigger out here so that I can, when I roll the bike up on it, there'll be a pad for the kickstand to hold the bike while I get it strapped down. Perfect. Just like that. And we will have our little kickstand support here somewhere. It's not really going anywhere. So there it is. Just like that. Yeah. That's perfect. All right, and now what we can do, let's just say it's strapped down, and come over here, and what we'll do is take our ramp, pick it up, and I'll be able to set it right in here, right there on those pins, wherever the pins are, where they'll be at on the, I still got to drill the holes and weld those in. And that is it right there.
Happy with it?
Oh yeah, real happy with it. You know, I really didn't want to have to come this far out with the tie down points, but I think it was important that I get them away from the rail where it's not straight down. I needed a little bit of an angular tie down, especially with this. The strap is going to be right in here, which I think is a good location for it. So yes, I am happy with it. I think it looks good. I think it's going to work well. All right, just to simulate our D-rings, which we haven't welded yet, we're going to do that next. There they are. I think they're going to sit just like that on the back side. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off now. So let's see how easy it is to take it off, you know, once the straps are off of it, of course. Reach in here. Let's see, we're going to pick this up off the studs. Hook the end. And then it's just a matter of, I'm going to see if it'll do it with the kickstand down. It's the perfect height to manage it too. Just like that. Bam, easy. I think I do like the length of this right here. I think I'm going to leave it 48 inches just like it is. There may be times where I'm on some kind of elevation somewhere where it'd be handy to have that little bit of extra length. So we get the bike off and we take our ramp. This may not go back on there whenever we go to take this out. Set that back down on there, stick our pins in there, and from that point we'll be able to take the center pin out and pull it out. But I feel much more comfortable with this one that I built for myself versus the inexpensive commercially available bike carriers that you can get at Harbor Freight. And I know there's other places that you can buy them too. I don't know if any of them are made in USA or not, but this is heavy duty industrial quality right here, A-bomb quality. Okay, we got our ramp drilled. Got the holes, look like they line up. We'll go ahead and just stick the pin in there and make sure. There we go. That is a close fit right there. Just enough wiggle room. So it should still line up great whenever we weld it on. So that's the next step. We're gonna flip this over and weld these pins in place. Got the pins installed. I've got this rod through there to kind of align the pins. I want the pins running that way. So it's got them straight in line and just setting them out 1/4 inch. Both of them are set there. So they shouldn't move if I don't come in here and bump them. I'm gonna go ahead and get the MIG welder set up and weld those in. I'm just gonna put a weld bead on one side there. That way I can lay it down and put a nice bead in a flat position all the way around it. We got our ground. Just going to do some double checking before I weld them solid. Make sure it lines up. There we go. And then that should give us approximately 1/8 of an inch clearance on these lynch pins here. Yep. That's going to be great right there. All right, so we got our end tubes welded. I dressed it, smoothed it out. We got all smooth sides right there. Same thing on this end right here. It's all smooth. And I'm gonna make sure that every edge on this thing is dressed smooth like that before we finish this thing out. That's what I've done with the rail, you know, but before we finish, we'll go over the whole thing, make sure there's no weld spatter. There's still a little bit of weld spatter right there. I wanna get it nice and smooth. The plan is, hopefully, if I can get this squeezed in, is get it down to the powder coat shop, possibly this coming week, because the powder coating shop is getting ready to move to a different location. They said if I could get this to them early in the week, they could probably get it back to me before they shut down and move to their new location, because they're going to be down for a solid week. So anyway, I'm trying to make headway on that. This is the weekend, and I'm hoping that I have everything finished up to where we can get it to them. I just don't know yet, because I want to be able to make sure that I can get our supports that's going to tie into the anchor, the tow hook areas on the front of the truck. So next step from here, we're going to get our D-rings welded on here. It's going to be like this right here on all 4 locations. Get those welded in nice. I was even thinking about taking my solid wire out and put in the flux core to do this right here, because I just want to make sure that I have a really good solid weld on those guys right there. So that'll be the next phase, but it's coming along and it's looking good. I like it. I like the way it's coming out.